Prices in the U.S. are climbing at their fastest rate in 40 years, up more than 8% from 2021. But for many families across the country, that number is more than just a data point. Tonight, we take a look at how one family in Michigan is coping with this new reality. It's a typical morning at the Bandy house.
Do you want more Ovaltine?
39-year-old Lindsay and 44-year-old Scott live just outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Do you need anything for school?
They say right now their household budget is stretched to the breaking point by rising costs. What have the last couple of months been like for you as inflation has creeped up across the country?
Before this last round of inflation hit, it was rough. You know, we were still kind of paycheck to paycheck, but the paycheck went a little bit further. There's no wiggle room.
Lindsay says skyrocketing prices at the supermarket are a major source of stress. Meat prices rose by nearly 15% in the U.S. over last year. Milk is up 13%. Even the price of soup spiked 10%. Lindsay says the sticker shock is the worst at the gas pump.
Good grief.
In Grand Rapids, it now costs around $4 a gallon. That's up from less than $3 a year ago.
So I just had a very painful experience. I filled up my gas tank. I wasn't even quarter of a tank yet. It still cost me $100.
Oh, yeah.
We have to drive across town to pick up the kids, and then I commute for work. That's taken a huge bite out of our monthly budget.
She earns $15 an hour at her retail job. That's well over the federal minimum wage, and works about 35 hours a week. Her husband, Scott, works full-time as a cable technician, and the family lives with a roommate to help pay the mortgage. Still, Lindsay says they're barely scraping by because wages haven't kept up with prices. Who or what do you blame for inflation?
Corporate greed. I mean, there's no reason why these companies that are posting record profits over the last 2 years can't afford to pay their employees a living wage. For somebody to turn around and say, oh, my 401k has never been better and my stocks are so high, and I'm going, okay, what world are you living in?
It's a tough situation for a lot of people.
Michelle Singletary is a financial columnist for the Washington Post. She says what the Bandy family is experiencing is now unfortunately very common.
It was the people who were already living on the edge, and the pandemic and the economic slowdown and higher gas prices, inflation, just tipping them over.
For now, the Bandys are finding creative ways to support their family. Lindsay has taken up what she calls nerd crafting and sells her wares at conventions and online. And Scott donates plasma twice a week for extra cash.
There you go. Hey!
Lindsay's mother, Lisa, chips in by looking after the Bandys' 3-year-old daughter, Haley. It saves the family on childcare costs and is a welcome break for Lindsay and Scott.
They just feel like they're not, what are we doing wrong? We're not getting ahead. We're working and we're working and we're working and we're not getting ahead. It really is heartbreaking, and I just wish there was, more than I could do for her.
Haley is too young to understand the financial toll on the family.
At the beginning,
But 10-year-old Hope has started to notice.
I worry that if my parents don't pay all the bills, that we'll lose the house and we'll have to move back in with my Nana.
You feel like you were trying to succeed as a parent, which is hard enough, and then to find out that you're not doing such a great job hiding, your stressors and your fears and your tensions is just, it's wrenching.
For now, Singletary says the economic outlook is uncertain.
Hopefully by 2023, we're really seeing things turn around. But I think you got to pack in your patience and know that this is probably going to be happening for a little bit longer.
And that's a huge concern for Lindsay Bandy.
It's something that keeps me up at night. And it's part of that deep, deep hole that we're trying so hard to dig ourselves out of. We've been working the jobs, we've been putting in the hours, and it's just one kick in the teeth after another. And should things get worse than they are, it's not something I can think about.